Okay, teachers, how many days do we have? We have until August 12th, which is the first day of school, to fully bake my plan for how this year's going to roll. And I think this is going to be the most transformational year any of us have ever experienced. During this summer, if you were floating the river and having a good time, I am so proud of you. Because I just added back in January, have spent my summer in AI immersion school. I have worked with Claude, Gemini, Notebook LM, which is now Gemini Notebook, a little bit of Chat GPT, and by far Claude is where I'm going to live. But I also have to go with what my school district does, right? You have to do the same. So I think we're in a time right now where so much is being defined, so many rules. Claude or Anthropic has, this is kind of the biggest news lately. Anthropic came out, you probably might have received an email about it. They have a free year for teachers to have access to all of their products. So of course, here I am. I have two Claude accounts. I have a school account and I have my personal account. And it is on teachers to be in the room with our kids as they are using AI. That's where I come from. So if you are someone who, oh, by the way, I'm Heather Dickens and I have the Dickens approach. I am developing that in real time and sharing it with you if you find it helpful. I have found myself with multiple goals, like I'm wanting to do all of it at the same time. So I am relying on Claude to kind of help focus me a little bit, which is great. I picked up something today on my walk that I think you might find helpful. In fact, I know you will, because I have spent a lot of time growing, evolving, changing, go back, iterating, taking things out, asking Claude, why in the world did it do this? Getting mad at Claude because I messed something up. This will be a wonderful place to start with my students. It's what I plan on doing. I will have this book listened to on my walks. It is called The AI-Driven Leader. And I listened to a full interview with the author and I was pretty blown away. So I'm going to show you here in a moment something I learned this weekend to do. He takes it a step 2, 3, 4 further and makes it just incredible. If you are just beginning with any AI tool, and I will be doing this with my students, you must give it context. Otherwise, it's pulling everything from the entire world. One, that's, not a good use of resources, right? Two, you're not going to get good output. It's going to be real generic and bleh and all that stuff. So you want to go here. We're going to go do this. And let's just see. Going to go to settings. Okay, so my system settings. Oops. No. Not those. Whoops. We're going to go down here to Claude. I am in Claude. You've got this, right? So we go down here to your little name. You should, as a teacher, I don't know what that's going to look like. Oh, by the way, that partnership with Claude, they're freaking brilliant. They have an education, which I'm sure all of the LLMs or whatever they're called. I'm sure they all have it, but Claude is they're very focused. There's a documentary, by the way, or an Oprah interview. Look it up with the founders. It's a brother-sister team of Anthropic, and pretty cool interview. Anyway, that's on YouTube. So they have a full education like interface, building Claude for educators, which is to create this program for teachers. So I'm going to be real fascinated to see if it is, how it's directed. Because like what I've been doing this summer is just going and telling Claude, go grab from the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, blah, 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 and giving it all this stuff to do, which has been helpful, but probably could be much more efficient as I'm learning. So the tool that I'm going to show you today, I think, is going to make it more efficient. So let's go. You come into your settings. Okay, you're going to do this in any of them. Claude's the one that I really know my way around in a little more. We go to settings. See how it has my profile? So we have this. I told it I'm an educator. And then it says instructions for Claude. All right. These in your settings, these are universal. So whatever chat thread, whatever co-work, whatever you're in, these universal settings will be applied. So look what I did here. Because I had been living in the AI space intensively immersed, I feel like I went to, Spain, but instead I went to AI world, specifically Claude, and have just been learning and learning. But I have been finding that the output, and you can spot it, boom, boom, which will be a fun lesson to do with my students, right? So the words that we get, these words that are used like the move and honest and this setup of if then this and this sort of building, nobody tells you the thing nobody is talking about. Ugh. I have instructed mine. I have universal settings to get that out. Okay. M dashes, big clue. I didn't even know. I'm an English teacher. I didn't even know what an M dash was, but apparently it is like, you'll see it in anything that's kind of AI generated. So it has a neat effect, and there might come a time when we'll all be okay with it being there. But right now it is this huge red flag that you have just had, AI write this for you and never look at it again. So we don't want that. Okay. Words and phrases to never use: honest approach, or M dashes. Every now and then, not to use the move or move as a noun for a technique. Use project. Physical movement is fine. Here's the deal. Just drives me nuts. Any build, then reveal structure. So Claude actually helped me come up with what that is. It is a technique. So it's going to be so fun to do these language lessons, these real time. These are the constructs that are coming out of AI, and, walk through it with our kids. It's gonna be fun. So my voice, never call AI a tool. Don't like that. Call it a thinking partner, which it is. It's a catalyst, or partner in learning, which it is. I am the thought leader, and I have to work very hard to stay that way, because we're all, at least, well, I'll speak for myself. Have a little lazy thread. So if I can say, hey, do this, and it does it, that's kind of tempting. But is that giving my thinking away? Probably so. That is like sitting in the chair and saying, AI, go run for me, and expecting me to have benefit. Right? Can't do that. I've got to work my muscle. So this is how I intend to be presenting and working with, well, not presenting, hopping in the car with these kids that are already using AI, and maybe not using it in the best possible ways. But I think we're going to find that we're going to be learning a lot from our students in their own personal ethics, having driven where they are. And anyway, so there we go. So you go in here and you tell this thing, you give it all these instructions. All right. Now, when I first saw that, I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what to tell it. So I asked Claude to ask me. Put Claude in the seat of being the interview task. First, can you help us know who the author was of the book that I'm talking about?
I'm not quite catching which book you're referring to. You mentioned it earlier, but I'm not picking it up from this part of the conversation. Can you give me the title or author again?
So I watched an interview on YouTube. Could you go take a look on YouTube? I think his first name is Jeff, Geoff. And crit is something he teaches. So in giving good context, especially to Claude, he says to have, context, not content, context, role, interview, and task.
Let me search for this. Sounds like you were talking about a framework someone named Jeff teaches around prompting. Got it. It's Jeff Woods, who wrote The AI-Driven Leader. He developed the CRIT framework: context, role, interview, task. That's the one you're showing people how to build.
Yes, I think it will be super helpful. As you and I have battled back and forth with me not giving you enough context, I think there's been a little bit of a mess sometimes. So I definitely have my universal settings set. And then I want to walk people through creating an MD file and how that works. So can you help us there?
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea is you create a markdown file that includes your context, role, interview questions, and task, basically documenting your CRIT framework so it's reusable and clear. When you share it or use it with Claude, that file becomes your foundation. Want me to walk through what that might look like, or are you thinking of a specific structure for how you'd organize it?
I think his structure is great. So would you walk me through it?
Sure. So Jeff's structure breaks down like this. You start with context, which orients the AI to your situation and where this work lives in the real world. Then role, you assign a specific perspective or expertise you want the AI to adopt. Next is interview, where you ask clarifying questions one at a time before diving into the actual work. That forces you both to slow down and surface what actually matters. And finally, task, which is your clear assignment, short, specific, slightly uncomfortable even. Does that help frame how you'd structure the markdown file?
Yes. So will you interview me like an education consultant who is even from the Claude team, who knows how we want to move forward, or we're thinking we'll move forward with public education. So interview me like you are that consultant and ask me questions that take us through CRIT.
Got it. So I'm playing an education consultant from the Claude team who knows TSTA work and public education reform. Let me start with context. First question. When you think about the AI voice rhetoric resources you're building for your sophomore English students, what's the real world problem or gap you're trying to solve in their learning?
I have to think about that. Give me a second before you start responding. I think the gap is that we are all in different spots, and students are used to, and teachers are used to, the teacher having the answers, the school having the rules. Those are handed down from the state, filtered through the school board, and then the school. We now have this kind of fluid thing going on. So I think the gap, to me, at least right now, has been in personal ethics. I think the students need to work with their parents to come up with a framework of how they want to use AI. And I think teachers can support in exploring and going through and demonstrating and seeing, oh, whoa, when we do this, we're just giving away our thinking. But when we do this, we think higher and bigger than we ever have.
That's really compelling. So the gap is about moving from top-down rules to families and students building their own ethical frameworks, and teachers as guides showing what's possible when you think bigger with AI. Here's my second question. When you're teaching these curiosity gap hooks and voice rhetoric, what do you want students to actually be able to do differently after they learn it? Like, what's the shift you're hoping for in how they engage with information or think about persuasion?
I like curiosity gap hooks. I want them to ask questions. I want them to be curious. I want them to not be fearful. I want them to not just accept a response as the best response as they interface with AI. I want them to demand more, to develop.
That's powerful. So curiosity as a tool against passive acceptance. Next question. When you're demonstrating these
Dickens approach. I think it's going to be this memory MD. Running record of preferences. Yes, it's this one.
Perfect. So Memory MD is your running record of preferences. That's the one we want to combine with what we just built through Curate. Go ahead and paste that whenever you're ready, and I'll integrate it with the new framework.
Okay, so I come up here. Do I paste the whole thing?
Yeah, paste the whole thing. That way I can see what you're working with and we can blend it all together seamlessly.
Oh. That's not good, what I just did.
What happened? No worries, we can fix it.
Okay.
Take your time. What do you need?
Okay, I'm all right. I'm going back. Let's see. All right, coming back to you. Here we go. All right, I've just pasted it in.
Got it. I'm reading through it now. Give me a second to see what you're working with so I can weave it together with the CRIT framework we just built.
Okay, so you're doing that, or?
Yep, I'm looking at what you pasted. Just gathering it all so I can build the new version that combines your existing preferences with the CRIT structure and everything we just talked through.
Okay, awesome.
All right, so I've got your memory document and everything from our conversation. Here's what I'm seeing. You've got solid foundational pieces about your teaching philosophy, your dislikes around AI buzzwords, and what matters to you. What we're doing now is organizing all of that, plus the new crit framework, into one robust, universal settings document that's clear, living, and ready to grow. I'm going to build this out with context, role, interview, and task at the top, then fold in your existing preferences and philosophy underneath so it all flows together. Sound good?
I think all we need at this point is for you to pull together all of that information. This is the task, and create that living document.
Perfect. Let me pull that together for you now. I'll create the full universal settings document combining everything: the crit framework we built, your existing preferences, your teaching philosophy, and your voice. Give me a moment to draft this.
So I have found when I'm in the voice thing, sometimes stopping it and starting it again helps. There you go. It just made it. Now, what they taught is you don't just accept this. You take time to go through and evaluate. And this is what I'll be teaching my students. Go evaluate this output and make sure you like it and tweak it and work with the AI to refine it and make it better. Chances are I am not going to put this in my universal settings because the universal settings are really more about how to work with me. I think I'm going to make this an updatable kind of living document. I am still working on how to, let it go, make changes and all of that stuff, all the permissions. And I still get very lost in that. So there you go. I hope this is helpful to you. You can see that it's a bit of a messy process. Oftentimes we watch these YouTube videos and it's like, why can't it be so that easy? Because they have done a lot of iterating. So I hope that it's okay and that this is helpful for you to see the exact process. Thanks if you've stayed this long. And I hope you stay curious. And I hope you stay you. Anywhere I can help, let me know.